Welcome back to NAB 2014 for another newshooter.com live panel here at the Teradek live booth. And I'm joined by Jeremy from Atomos and Steve, sorry. I'm sorry, okay. Steve, I'm dealing with so many people today. From Nikon and Clinton Hahn at the end. Now, Jeremy, what have we got sitting there on top of that beautiful Nikon camera?
This is the new baby from Nikon. And this is the D4S, which I think is based on the D4.
It is.
But with some improvements, right?
It's what we call a minor upgrade, but some of the upgrades are a little more than minor.
Just spin around towards the camera here.
Yeah.
So you can see it.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very, very cool product. The quality of the image coming from the sensor is honestly right up there with the best cameras in the world. And the form factor is very, very compact. And this does 1080 recording internally and pumps it out as well. Unfortunately, it doesn't have time code and start-stop trigger, but what it does have is when you hit live view, if you start out recording, so the Ninja has a function and the Samurai has a function that if you start recording and you stop, and you pull the plug or live view goes down, the recorder will stop. But as soon as live view comes back up, it starts recording again. So as long as you do that at the start, whenever you toggle live view up and down, you actually get trigger to the Ninja.
Yeah.
So that's a very cool feature. So they haven't got the official timecode start-stop trigger, but you will be recording exactly the same frames when the live view comes online, because as soon as we get a frame, we start recording, provided that you pull the plug or turn the live view off while you're recording at the start.
So what are the benefits of using, say, the Atomos blade here with the Nikon camera?
Well, first of all, the monitor is fully functional in terms of video functions. So, I mean, Nikon have done an amazing job on the photography side of things, but waveform, vector scopes, focus peaking, all of these things that are quite specific video functions are being provided by the Ninja. So you get the quality of the sensor and its internal recording capability, but you get to set the shot up from the sensor image on the Ninja blade. Plus the resolution of the screen is 325 ppi, 5-inch, 720p screen. And I think you'll agree that the combo is pretty killer.
Absolutely. You've provided the functionality that is not included in the camera, which makes this a complete package, totally complete.
Yeah, so how much is this?
This is $6,500 for the camera body.
Wow,
yeah.
I mean that's a lot of camera for
it is
not much money.
It
Plus
is.
It's like one of the world's best photography cameras at the same time.
I've been calling it the quintessential multimedia camera because it does have built-in time-lapse functionality, so that gives it total still capability, time-lapse capability, and of course video capability. And the nice thing about the time-lapse is that in the last 2 generations of cameras, we've added a time-lapse movie function that'll actually complete a finished H.264 file, write it to the card, or you can record all of those individual images and stitch it together yourself. So tremendous amount of capability in the camera. The Atomos only adds that much more makes it a total package.
So Steve, how important is collaborations with companies like Atomos to get together and design products that coexist and work well together?
Oh, it's incredibly important. In fact, I've got to credit Jeremy. This guy and that company has done such a wonderful job, and I know that Jeremy has a lot of personal contacts with our engineering staff in Japan and visits them regularly, and I think that kind of communication has made this extraordinary combo possible, most definitely. I don't think that we could even attempt to do this in 2 separate worlds if it weren't for this guy.
Yeah. Now, Clint, you've had a lot of experience using DSLR cameras with the Atomos products. Just how well do they work together?
It augments the camera in general. I think whether it's DSLR or Super 35 cameras or larger cameras, what it does is it takes a lot of the sensibilities that the cameras can't produce and it augments it. So, like I said, being able to record, whether it's ProRes, HQ, LT, 422, sometimes you just don't really necessarily want to deal with the codecs internally in the camera. So I see it as a tool that augments what you already have. If I remember correctly too, I think it works well with Nikon because I think Nikon were the first, compared to the competitor, one of the first manufacturers on the market to actually output clean HDMI.
Yes, absolutely.
So there you go. So the fact that it has that sensibility as well and that capacity certainly augmented.
And not only that, Nikon go right down to the D3200, am I right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
that's a, what, a $500, $600 camera?
Yeah, D3300. Yeah.
D3300 now.
Yeah.
Sorry, you've updated it.
Yeah.
You guys are updating your cameras as fast as we're updating our recorders. It's hard to keep up. But that's a $500-600 camera that is a perfect second camera. It's a perfect run and gun for certain situations. And you can put a Ninja or a Ninja Star now on top of it, and you've got a really compact, awesome sensor. Now it's a DX sensor, I think, but it doesn't really matter for video because you're already going from like 3000 by 2000, whatever the sensor is, down to HD anyway.
Yep.
So you're getting a really kick-ass image, and for what, 600 plus 600 for a Ninja 2 or 300 for a Ninja Star, you're under $1,000.
Yeah, and if you spend just a few more dollars, you could go to the D5300, which has 1080-60 also. That upgrades the camera body, and it's still under $1,000. So.
Yep, and there's 7100, and yeah, look, there's lots of options. And then the camera guys, especially photography guys who are moving into video, could choose their camera that they want, and Nikon's just opened up that whole range. Now, their competitors are not doing that. They're still saying, you have to pay X amount to get that functionality. So I think you guys are doing a great job in terms of getting that clean HDMI into all cameras, and once you put it in, it just rolled across the whole product line.
You know, take it too, Steve, like Nikon has been paying a lot of attention to the video market now, and I noticed that they've made a lot of improvements over the years in terms of getting that video quality right up there. Has that been something that Nikon's been looking at closely and getting feedback from operators that they wanted better video features in Nikon cameras?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'll be the first to admit that we're very humble in this space because we're very new to this space. There's no question about that. And as a result, we thrive upon that customer input, no question. Coming to shows like NAB, we learn what people need, and of course, you know, dealing within the confines of the DSLR form factor, which is really our core competency, we are able to do more and more every generation of camera. So that kind of input is absolutely essential.
Well, something pretty cool that I learned today from one of your senior managers, is that with your radio remote control and the function I just described of starting to record first, then either pulling the cable or disabling the live view, you can trigger one camera through that, which will trigger multiple cameras around the shoot. So you actually get basically an instantaneous, simultaneous trigger using that little trick and the system that Nikon already has for photography, which flicks it into live view, even in video mode. And that means you can't record on the camera, but you can record to us. So that means you can have like a 10 camera shoot, hit one of them, and they'll all start. Or you could be in a car in the back seat and it's at the front of the car, stunt work. There's, I mean, endless possibilities as to how that.
Now, Steve, I'm going to ask you this question anyway. I know you're probably not going to be able to answer it, but in the Nikon future road pipe down the looking ahead, are we likely to see, 4K recording be able to be outputted maybe from a Nikon camera? Is there anything like that?
You know, as you predicted, my standard answer is I can't talk about future products, but I think that it's important that people understand that we're watching this market. We know what's going on. We hear the requests, even though we can't say, yes, we'll do that right away. Believe me when I say we have a tendency to not be on the absolute bleeding edge, but we like to stand back, see what's happening, see what people need, and then see how we can implement those technologies. So. Without saying a definitive yes, you can rest assured that we're looking at every possible opportunity in this space.
Technically, I'd say very, very possible.
Well, you can talk on his behalf because you're talking to Nikon.
I know, though I'm not from Nikon.
Okay, Clinton, would you like to see a 4K output from a Nikon DSLR? Yes.
Look, I can bear testament to what Steve's saying because about 2 years ago, the Nikon team in Australia, Sydney, enlisted services of a lot of cinematographers like myself and a few other people, and actually did a feedback session where we gave a bit of input in terms of R&D, and that's actually how I got onto the Atomos product because, like I said, it was the first, marriage of, let's say, your product, Atomos, as well as the D800 and the D4 as well. So they were very proactive in terms of going around and saying, what should we do to our product as far as Nikon's concerned to make it easier for you guys? So, and that's how I was then ironically being introduced to Atomos itself, so there was a synergy there.
Think about 1.4B HDMI, which is what's on these cameras. That is capable of 4K P30. That's what is the fact. They have an 8K sensor in their cameras. it's 4:1, down resing, straight out HDMI into a Shogun. That's got to be coming soon, I reckon.
Okay, Steve, I'll give you the last word
You're
here.
put me on the spot.
And I'm not.
I'll give you the last word here, Steve. You can pitch to our audience out there. Why should they buy why buy a Nikon? In general,
I come to this space, and as many inroads as we've made in the bodies to try and get to at least parity with other DSLRs in the market, I think it's unquestionably the lenses. No question. And there's no reason why you can't go out and I see it all the time, take Nikkor lenses and adapt them to other cameras. But now we're really doing a lot more in our cameras, and I would invite those people that maybe are frustrated that the fact that they can't do the HDMI out, that they don't have a built-in time lapse, that they don't have many of these features, investigate maybe putting a Nikon body on the back of all those Nikkor lenses that they love so much. So I think that it really started in our company, it started with the glass, and I think it continues to be our legendary Nikkor optics.
Because
Try
ultimately,
it as your second camera.
Yeah.
Right? Try it as your second camera.
Well,
Yeah, why not?
The second camera thing works because the D800 color profiles very well to the red.
Yeah.
There you go. As a smaller form factor. That's a fact.
Yeah.
okay, great. Thanks very much, guys. We're just going to take a short break here on the newshooter.com live panels at NAB, and we'll be back very shortly with the guys from Defy.